Hello, Virko.
All right, let's go.
Okay, so let me tell you about the event and how it came about. This is called Celebrating Student Success, a tribute to Ken Hanlon. And first of all, I want to talk about Ken Hanlon and why we chose to make this a tribute to him. And it was because along with you, Virko, he was one of the founding two members of the department then of music, now the School of Music. And as Ken was fond of saying, the man who hired you immediately disappeared and said, one of you had to be chair. And you said, it's not me. And so Ken agreed to do it, and he was chair for quite a long time. But the two of you together were also responsible for creating something that hadn't been there before, that is now a large school of music with a doctoral program. And you also were both heavily invested in the arts in the Las Vegas community and participants in a lot of ways there. And one of the important things about Ken, I think, as a faculty member, because he didn't stay as chair. He spent some time in the provost's office. He actually went away and helped found Idlewild in California and did some other things, went to Peabody and did some amazing performing. He was in the Philharmonic with me for a little while. He was in the Nevada Symphony with you and when you were conducting it. And so there's a long history there, but I always think first and foremost of Ken as a teacher. And it was because he was so dedicated to the students and he was beloved by the students. And so many of the alumni have such fond memories of him. He was the kind of teacher who would go far out of his way to make sure that students were getting the material, that they understood what he was trying to teach them. He would work with them privately. He would go well beyond what most of us would be comfortable doing because he was so determined that students should succeed. And as a result, many of them have gone on to wonderful careers. I can't even imagine trying to count all the students that he's taught. And so for that part, celebrating student success just made sense completely with Ken Hanlon because that's what he was about, And so in order to make that work, there's some other things came together with this concert too. First of all was the concerto competition, which you and Ken started back in the 70s, right? 70s, I think. Yeah. And it's been going ever since then. And during the pandemic year, we had two wonderful violinists win the competition. One is Juan Na, and the other is Alexei Hamov, and they are students of Ambroise Aubron and Wei Wei Lei. Both of them, they study with both of them. And so these students won this wonderful prize of you get to play your concerto with an orchestra, and then the pandemic happened and everything shut down and they didn't get the chance to play. And then last year was kind of a wash for anything performing wise. We certainly didn't have very much going on live anywhere until I would say this fall. And so we started thinking, well, it's such a shame that these students didn't get their prize. They won it fair and square. Let's give them some recognition for it. And so these kind of things started coming together into one idea. And then we thought, well, we're going to have this concert for Ken. We're going to celebrate student success by having the two student winners of the competition play. And let's go one step further. Let's make this a pedagogical event too, by inviting all of the applied faculty who play instruments in the orchestra to sit principal in their section and to bring in their students so that it's what we call a side-by-side concert, which is a very, very memorable and educational experience for students to have. And not one that we get to do very often. And, a lot of the faculty worked with Ken and remember him, with great fondness and also as a great colleague. And so it was wonderful for them to have a way to participate in this event that's going to be a tribute to him. It's wonderful for the students because it's this great opportunity to sit with their teacher and see how things work when your teacher is playing principal and you're right next to them, learning from them. And so there's those angles, and there's more, but I'll let you get a word in edgewise.
Oh, no, I think that's a wonderful idea, by the way. I mean, I remember when I was at Marlborough hearing a concert in which the Brahms sextet was performed, and the principal violinist and the principal cellist were professionals, and the cellist was Paulo Casals.
Oh, wow.
So you have that, and then I remember I was told that at Curtis it was not at all unusual for like a students' quartet to play solo with somebody like Rudolf Serkin.
Wow.
On account, it was accepted. I always, actually, I suggested that idea a number of times here, but it seemed that a lot of things were playing against it, because I think that is a good way.
It is, and logistically it's very hard to do, but once we made up our mind that we were going to do this event, it made sense to go ahead and have these other components to it. Why not put all of it into one really beautiful event for, in memory of Ken, but also to celebrate our students, to celebrate how their successes and their futures. Also, it was a wonderful opportunity, if I may say so, to bring you back on campus, because I haven't gotten to see you very much and I miss you. And you are Professor Emeritus, and you've been, working from home for a while, retired from UNLV. But I was used to having lots of interactions with you and, doing lots of musical projects with you. So it's been really wonderful to have this kind of, you're coming back, you're going to come back and can conduct and the team is back, the band is back together. And so it feels really neat, especially because you and Ken were such good friends and such good colleagues and are responsible for so much of what is now the School of Music. And so it's a very, I think, meaningful event.
Well, I mean, it was a surprise for me when you called me about it. I was taken back a little bit, but in the end, I mean, the more I thought about it, the more I liked that idea, because again, for Ken, this was important for me to do. Yeah. Ken was a very close friend as well as a professional colleague, and we were the two people, I think, that knew each other so well that we could really tear each other apart and be good about that. When I thought something was wrong, I would tell him. When he thought I was doing something wrong, he would tell me. And it made for a very strong relationship because it grew.
Yeah.
I would like to very much do that. Now, let me tell you just a little bit about the program, which is pretty much standard program, because it has two soloists, which is usually not standard.
Right.
And so the two violinists will perform. One will do a piece by Senso, very popular concerto. Number 3, Senso is like a classical romantic composer. And the other is Chanson's Poème, which is a very gorgeous, very beautiful piece. And it's sort of like a gigantic operatic suite for violin and orchestra. Very different from Saint-Saëns. Also, they're both French, and they share that peculiarity, which we call the French touch. And then I asked 3 of the current composers on the faculty, which is Diego Vega, Jennifer Bello, and Viet Quang, to write each on a 3-minute homage to the memory of Ken. And that will be dispersed throughout the concert.
And that's so wonderful and so generous of them to do. And as you said to me earlier, so wonderful for them as well to have an opportunity to write something for that kind of group.
Everybody wins on this one. I think everybody gets something out of this. And I'm very, I wanted to do that right off the bat. I said, no, we got to get the composers involved with this. I mean, performers can be sometimes very leery of performing music, but I have to tell you, at some point in time, Beethoven symphonies were brand new pieces. And a lot of, I can remember the stories about the bass players with the trio in a 5th symphony going crazy trying to play that. Anyway, and then doing a piece of mine, which is from the first symphony called Agnus Dei, which means the Lamb of God, but it's a memorial also to Bortniansky, a composer very, very famous in the early 19th century for choral music, and also for having a chorus that was remarkable. Berlioz praised it immensely, and Beethoven brought his Missa Solemnis to be premiered by him. And and then end the program. I wanted to bring something in that would honor the rather extensive Latino population that we have now in the ballet. And the piece that made the most sense to me was Carlos Chavez' Sinfonia India, because it is, in a way, honors the music of sort of the South, the Latino, the indigenous music, the mixture of all that combination that it brings into it. And if you listen very carefully to it, or you listen to it beforehand, or at some point to Copland's El Salón Mexico, you will hear the same melody. And I think he got it from Chavez.
Interesting.
And so that is the concert. And I think that I'm looking forward to it very, very much.
And I think another feature with Chavez that's interesting to me is that it utilizes a lot of Mexican percussion instruments. And because we have such a large Hispanic community here, we think we are going to be able to get a lot of those instruments, which is not all that typical for an orchestra to be able to access those instruments. I mean, so it's exciting.
Right. I've conducted that piece like 4 times already. This will be the 5th time. And the 3 of the 4 times, only when I was in Mexico City conducting there, that I have the pleasure of actually hearing that sound, which is a kind of a really authentic, almost aboriginal sound. It's earthy. It's so earthy sound. And
interesting.
He thinks that he may be able to find all of those, that he's got some students.
Well, and it's also going to involve so many of the percussion students who really didn't have a lot of parts on the other pieces on the program. So this is a way to involve them too and make sure that everybody.
Well, they do that, yeah. My symphony puts them to work a lot. They're going to sweat that out a little bit.
Yeah, I think we all will.
Concertos don't usually have that much percussion in it for the most part. Particularly romantic, timpani and a few bass drum and maybe a cymbal crash at the right moment. But the others, I think, anyway, it'll be a wonderful evening.
And let me give you the details, the logistical details. This concert will take place on Friday, March the 4th at 7:30 in Ham Concert Hall. It is free of charge. Anybody can come. And there will be mask protocols in place. What they will be in March, I can't exactly say right now. I don't know. It's changing so much. But I would say it would be wise if you're coming to visit the website and make sure you understand, what you need to have or not have if you're planning to come and how comfortable you are doing that. We are also going to stream it. And we will be making a recording of it as well. We're especially interested in streaming it because we have so many alumni across the country who would love to, hear this concert in honor of Ken. And so we are doing that. There's going to be, like I said, a nice recording of it. Ken was a jazz trombone player. He was a jazz scholar. He loved jazz. And so the jazz band, little trio, are actually bigger than that. One of their small ensembles is playing in the lobby of Ham Hall in the hour before the concert starts. When you go into the hall, there will actually be a video running that will have some tributes and some pictures and things of Ken's time when he was at UNLV. And then we'll also have the jazz group in the lobby during intermission. We will not have food or beverages available because the regulations for the pandemic won't allow it. So if you want water, make sure you bring it with you. I don't even think the water fountains are running. But I'm not 100% sure about that. But anyway, those are the logistics, and we're all very excited about it. It's going to be a big event for us, and probably a fairly long concert too. So, but it'll be fun.
Not too long, but
it's not way too long. And I forgot. I want to mention we have a lot of people that are working behind the scenes on this. So many people have come together to help. Lori Cobo and the whole PAC staff is helping us. We have Sean Franklin Sewell working on the program, Anthony Barone writing program notes. We have, Gil and Chuck getting ready to do the streaming and the recording. We have our promotions team working on it. The faculty are working with the students. There's any number of things that are going on around this. And so it's going to be a real School of Music event. Our MC for the night is going to be Beth Lano, who is a horn player who came to Las Vegas after Ken did, but in the same sort of time frame, so that she actually was performing in a lot of the same spaces he was in at the same time. And she's also had a very long and well-established career in radio and voiceovers and things like that. So I think that she has a great sense of humor. I think she'll make the evening really fun for everybody as well. So we're excited about that too. Am I forgetting anything?
No, I don't think so. I think that was wonderful. So thank you very, very much for informing us of all of this. And as we should say, hasta la vista.
Yes, and please come. Tell all your fans and Ken's fans to please come. We want to fill the house if we can.
Yes, indeed. And we will try to do that. Again, thank you very much.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.